everyone, today we're going to solve a multiplication problem, working it out style. All right, and if you've seen my videos, my working it out videos before, then you know that I like to tackle a word problem and show you all of my strategies along the way. So let's read this problem once and just try to get a better understanding of what's going on in the problem. We're not going to solve it yet. We're just going to try to understand it better. So it says, Sweet Caroline's Bakery is making 86 apple pies for the day. Each pie contains 25 apple slices. How many total apple slices are needed for these 86 apple pies? Okay, so as I'm reading that, I'm noticing that I've got quite a few pies. 86 is a lot of pies, and each one of them has 25 apple slices. So how much does the first pie have? 25 apple slices. What about the second pie? 25 apple slices. I wouldn't want to keep going for all 86. That would take a really long time. But just as I'm reading that, I noticed that it's probably going to be a lot of apple slices used at this bakery. It sounds like a lot. So that's going to help me as I solve the problem. Now what I like to do is I like to read it a second time, and this time I'm going to highlight the things that I feel like would help me solve it. So it says, Sweet Caroline's Bakery is making 86 apple pies for the day. So I'm going to start by highlighting the number of pies we're making. So 86 apple pies. Then it says each pie contains 25 apple slices. So I think I should highlight each pie and the 25 apple slices, because I need to remember that every single pie has those 25. Okay, then it says how many total apple slices are needed for these 86 apple pies. So I feel like the word total is going to help me. So I know I don't just want one pie, I want all the pies. And now I can take a look at the answer choices. So I have A is 111, B is 589, C is 2,150, and D is 3,290. Okay, so before I start solving it, I can kind of think back to how we thought at the beginning of the problem that it sounds like it's going to be a lot of apple slices. So I'm noticing that two of my answers are kind of smaller and two of them are kind of bigger. So that might work out to where I'm going to choose one of the bigger ones. But let's move over to the whiteboard and do a little bit more work to really feel confident about it. Okay, so first of all, when you hear this problem, 86 pies, each pie is 25 apple slices, what type of problem do you think of? What operation are we doing? Yeah, we're multiplying. So because we have groups of. So I like to start with an area model and I break apart the number. So 86, good, would be 80 and 6. 25 would be 20 and 5. And then I can start multiplying in easier chunks that I know a lot better because they can be done pretty mentally. Okay, so first thing I would do is I would start with this top one. So what is 2 times 8? You got it, 16. And then how many zeros do I have in my factors? Ooh, 2. So I put 2 in my product. So it is 1,600. Okay, then let's move along to the next box. I can do this one next. 80 times 5. So I start with just a basic fact, 5 times 8. Okay, what is 5 times 8? Okay, 40. And then there's another 0. There's a 0 in the factor, so I better put another 0 in my product. Okay, now let's do 20 times 6. What is 2 times 6? You got it, 12. How many zeros? 1, so 1 in the product. And then the last one is 5 times 6, which is 30. Okay, then what do you think? If you're not too familiar with this strategy, I'll make sure to put a link down in the description of a full video of just how to do these. But in this case, what do you think we should do with the 4 partial products? You got it. We should add them up. And sometimes I like to just add them up in their columns and then kind of make it a little bit easier for myself. So I'm going to start over here. So 0, 2 plus 3 is 5, 1. Okay, so this side is 150. Then I'll add this one. I'm kind of glad I went ahead and lined it up pretty well. 6 plus 4 is 10. 1 plus 1 is 2, so 2,000. And then I can add these two plus 150. And look, that looks so easy to do because 2,000 is such a friendly number. So 2,000 plus 150 is 2,150. Okay, great job. And do you see an answer choice that matches that? All right, we got it, C. Okay, next I'm going to solve the problem on the side with just the standard algorithm because I know that some people probably prefer to use that. Some people really like to break apart the number like this. Some people like to try the standard algorithm. So let me go through both of these with you. So if you're just doing it this way, oh, I made a mistake there. Okay, so if you're doing this way, you're going to start with the ones place. What is 6 times 5? You got it, 30. And we regroup it just like we would if we were adding. Okay, then we do, sometimes I even cover up this 2 down here because we need to finish multiplying both of these numbers by the 5. So what is 8 times 5? You got it, 40 plus the 3. Okay, good job, 43. Okay, and one thing I love doing is stopping every once in a while and see if I can make a connection with the area model. Does anyone see 430 in this area model? Ooh, okay, look at this, 430. And it makes sense because look, this is where you do 5 times 6 and 80 times 5. And so that's what we just did. That's awesome. We did 6 times 5 and 80. This is really 80 times 5, right? So it makes sense. Okay, let's keep going. I like to do something I call XO, no go. And I'll explain it real quick. So I'm done with the 5, right? Everything else in my area model is with the 20. So I'm done with that. And then I put a 0 here because everything I'm multiplying next has a 0 in it. It needs a 0 on the end to hold that place. And then my no-go stands for I'm done with that number. I don't want to actually add it again. Okay, now I do everything times the 2. So what's 6 times 2? You got it, 12. And look, I don't really have to think about that that's a 20 because that 0 here does it for me, right? I'm just putting a 12 down and I'm not too worried about, that it's really a 20 because here I've got my 0 and it all works out. Okay, then 8 times 2. Good, is 16 plus the 1 is 17. Okay, and now I've multiplied everything. And I'd like to stop again and see if this other partial product, can you connect it to anything in the area model? Oh, okay. I'm looking here, and I think if we added these two, look, this 100 would bump this one up to 700. And then the 20, so 1,720, that makes sense. What do you think I do with these two partial products? You can kind of think about what you did over here. Okay, you got it. We add the two partial products. Let's see if we end up with the same thing. Okay, 3 plus 2, 4 plus 7 is 11. And 1 plus 1 is 2. Yay, we got the same answer both ways. So really, it just comes down to which one do you prefer? Do you like breaking the number apart or doing the standard algorithm? Great job.